Learning a language isn't hard. You're just overwhelmed and unexperienced. It's not difficult. If you can understand me now, you already learned the language when you were like an absolute idiot of a kid. You're older now and not stupid, so you can learn a language. We have the ability to do what we like to do now. It's not just going out and if you're socially awkward, living in hell, but you still want to learn a language, so you go and talk to people. It's not just reading a book and then translating everything word for word. We have like YouTube videos. It's easy. We have apps that you can like text people in other countries. It's easy now. So the most easy way to learn a language is to do what you enjoy. Once you do what you enjoy, that's like the core of it. You can go from doing what you enjoy to stemming out to more things that you enjoy. Because if you don't enjoy learning the language, it's not how our brain works. You won't just come out and automatically think of a way that you'll enjoy and do it. You'll continue putting yourself in this repeat thought cycle that I don't enjoy this, I don't enjoy this, and you're going to dread doing it every single day, and you're not going to learn because you won't be attentive and you won't actually be in the moment trying to learn whatever the word is in front of you, whatever the tense structure is in front of you. You have to be able to enjoy it. So that was my biggest problem, is that I would get overwhelmed and I wouldn't enjoy it, and then I would do 30 minutes a day, say fuck it, and then just I would just stop. It wouldn't work. It wasn't until I just gave up on all of the conventional methods and I just did what I wanted to do anyway, like watch YouTube history videos, but I did it in Spanish. I take YouTube shorts and I translate it word for word. This is a YouTube video about the most dangerous neighborhoods in Miami. Wrote everything down in Spanish after I listened to it like twice. It took me 10 to 15 minutes, and I did it in English. It took me 5 minutes. And now I can just follow along with the YouTube video, and my listening comprehension, at least to that one guy who's Argentinian, I think, it's uncomparable to before I wrote down 500 words like max. Like this is like one outrage on Twitter. Like both of these. It's easy. You read Instagram comments about like the Kardashians that are longer than that. And it's so easy. I took a YouTube history video that I didn't understand a lot of the words because it was a new subject. And I just wrote down the words that I didn't understand and some of them that I did. It kept me attentive. When you're watching history videos or you're watching anything really, your brain can't help but to wander at your job, at school. Your brain can't help but to wander and just think about like, oh, I saw a blue bird yesterday. I don't think I've ever seen a bird so purely blue before. I was crazy. It's just how it works. You got to understand how your brain works. That's why I go to YouTube and learn the languages off of YouTube. And I go to YouTube comment sections. This is a video about how Italy is basically two different countries. I'm interested in that stuff, so I'm going to be attentive, and on top of that, I'm listening to the words so I can write them down. I go to the comment section because I get, even if I don't understand all the words in the video, I understand the message, what the author, what the creator is trying to portray. So when I go to the comment section, realistically speaking, I'm talking to someone who's 18, 19 years old, maybe 30 at max. Their opinions aren't going to be much different than mine. Even if we have completely different ways of thinking, we're going to meet in the middle, basically just being youthful and growing up in 2022, 2023. You got to find the similarities and understand that it's not difficult. It's just a way of communicating a message. That's all a language is. Now, yeah, in English, it's difficult because our English and our language literally does not make sense. But in other countries like Italy and Spain, someone actually sat down back in the Middle Ages with like the bubonic plague, and they were using like a feather to write this shit. Children are dying, and they actually like wrote like rules for a language. Like we're so lucky that those people did that, because like every language would be like English and it wouldn't make sense. So the most important thing is to enjoy what you do. If you're told by the best language teacher ever, you hired a private tutor and then they told you to do something but you don't like to do it, don't do it. Trust me, just don't do it. Find people who you like to listen to. There's a guy called Lethal Crisis. I'm learning Spanish. He just goes to random places in the world. He just films it. He was like with the Taliban like a couple months ago or something. Like he just does crazy shit. Like I can't help but to not like want to watch this dude. It's impossible to not want to watch him for me. So the biggest problem that people have with learning a language is they get overwhelmed. Their brain goes elsewhere, and then they will never learn. 3 things or 5 things that I did that really helped me. I already talked about the YouTube comments and why just conveying a message and hearing other people's opinions and just translating the comments from Spanish to English and then being like, oh, that's what they mean. And then read the comment aloud once you have it translated word for word, and it'll just make sense. It'll click so much faster than if you were just reading non-substantive, I don't know, I'm not even gonna try it. Just reading random shit, just a random example anywhere. It's just, there's context behind it and there's meaning behind it, so you'll actually remember it. It's like learning the words to a song as opposed to just learning words to something. There's rhythm, there's meaning, there's like a message being portrayed. Another thing that I do, something that I've done pretty recently, is that if I'm like washing dishes or making food, I'll listen to a video, whether it's the news or like broadcast or YouTube history video. Even still, at the end of every sentence when they pause, because even in Spanish they gotta pause to breathe, they spit the entire Eminem Rap God like word for word, bar for bar, like RPM 1,000, and then they inevitably have to breathe. While they're breathing, you gotta insert yourself. Like I listen to YouTube history videos, they say the word ubicado a lot. Located. I'll say the word ubicado. País, country, país. A word that I don't know, but I made out the word that I don't know. I can like, if you don't know 2 words in any language, they're inevitably just gonna like mix. Like in English, if we say black coffee, you know it's black coffee. But someone in another part of the world will be like, what is black coffee? What does that mean? They're gonna think it's one word. It's inevitable. Play to your advantages. Do what you can do and stay attentive. By saying the words, by basically ad-libbing these people, that ad-lib will just make you stay attentive. It's why people like love the Migos. It's because there's never a down moment. They're always screaming something. Even like they just scream racist shit sometimes. And they get away with it. I don't know how, but I'm not gonna rant about them. The second thing is to scratch. This is scratching. This is just drawing chicken shit on a piece of paper because it keeps you engaged. I have the word mientras written like 5 different times on this absolute chicken scratch piece of shit. I know it means meanwhile because I wrote it down and I thought about it so many times that like I actually learned the word. And I'm gonna go into what I think learning a word actually means at the end of the video. And then if you can teach something, you know it. If you can take a subject that is mildly complicated, like any tense structure in Spanish, and you can teach it either to yourself by writing it down or just thinking about it over and over again, you will remember it. That's why these like college professors that know like, or like even high school teachers that know the entire periodic table, you think like, did you just sit down one day and just memorize the entire thing? Yeah, we all did. We did it once, then we forgot about it, but they did it like 4 times. And then they taught it every single year, answered questions about it. Someone forgot about hydrogen, or I guess hydrogen and helium, so many times that it's just implanted and burned in these people's brains that you're an idiot if you don't know what hydrogen and helium are on the top. If they're not on the top, I'm sorry, but I seem to remember the H and the HE being on the top. That and playing things at 2 times speed. I know this probably won't work for the majority of languages in the world, but for me with Spanish, playing the video at 2 times speed, writing down the words that I could even like muster, like my brain, I had headaches, like literal headaches, but it's a workout. It's a workout. You gotta understand that it's a workout. Go from 1 times speed to 1.25 to 1.5 to 1.75, then to 2. Do however much you can before you will literally burn out, and then as you're burning out, go right back to 1. Don't ease your way back down to 1, just go right back to 1. It'll be so much easier. So much easier. And I found creators that speak slowly, comparative to other Spanish speakers, and I found speakers that speak normally, and I found speakers that go fast. I listen to all of them, and then I go from 1 to 2 times, and then go right back to 1. You cannot forget to ease your way down to 2 because it will be too much. It is a workout. It is a workout. It is a workout. You gotta understand that it's a workout. If you don't, you're stupid. You're not gonna get anywhere. All right. So basically, what have I said? You gotta enjoy it. Purpose, consistency, calm down. Take it one word at a time, one tense structure at a time. You have to be able to understand that what you're doing right now, if you don't enjoy it, don't continue to do it. I find songs that I like and then I write them down line for line. Line 1, first line of the song. I do that, write it down in Spanish, write it down in English, write Spanish to English. And then if I really want to remember it and there's a lot of different things that I know I can learn, I do like phrases by phrases by phrases on a different piece of paper. It's not difficult, and I'm learning songs. I know like 2 Peso Pluma songs. I'm like a 14-year-old Mexican girl. That's where I am in Spanish. You just gotta be stupid. You gotta be crazy when you go into it. Like it's one of those things that it's like, I know that I'm learning these absolute dog shit songs, but I gotta learn them so that I can go and move up to actually develop my own music taste, but in Spanish. I gotta learn more about it. So to end the video, I'm gonna say what I think learning a word actually means, because there's a lot of different ways you can go about the definition of that. I'll take the word ubicado, because I already brought it up. In the beginning, and I didn't know what that meant, I had to spend half of a second, which is in Spanish like 18 words. Someone's saying a sentence and they say the word ubicado. I had to think, ubicado, that means located. Okay, so then he just said located, then I put it from Spanish ubicado to English in my mind, then I bring it back into Spanish, and then I try and put that in the subject, in the context of what the person just said, and by that time they're like 5 paragraphs deep. I'm stuck and I'm basically drowning. That's the way I think of it. I'm basically drowning in just not knowing what's happening, but that's fine. That's how you learn to swim, is you drown a little bit. Once you get to the point where someone says a word in your target language and you have to expend literally 0 calories and 0 brain matter, no neuron activation, it's just natural at that point, like how you can listen to this video, it's just natural. Once you get to that point, you know the word. So it's a matter of hearing every word so many times that you literally don't even have to think about the context or the word. You know it. So these are a couple things that I wish that I knew when I was first learning Spanish. Learning how to learn the language is an incredibly difficult thing to do, but that's why you got to enjoy it. So you try out different things, and if you don't enjoy it, probably not going to do it. If you still do it, you won't do it attentively. So I really do hope this helps. If you found any other ways or thought of any other ways, or you've heard any other ways that really helped you, please let me know. I'm always looking for new ways. I'm going to try them out myself. If I can write down every single word of Ella Baila Sola, I'm going to be able to try out what you do. Like, I don't know what else I can do except just write stuff down and then just have it singed into my brain and talk to native Spanish speakers. There's nothing more I can do, but I'm enjoying it, so that's all that matters. See ya.